Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k16 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. We're here with this week's NXT, 2 weeks away from the SummerSlam pay-per-view, and NXT itself is heating up. Last week was huge. This week is just going to be as big. It is going to be a great show indeed. I cannot wait to show you what we have in store for you. So, tag team action. The top 4 divas are at it again. Charlotte, Asuka versus Bayley and Becky Lynch. How will this one fare this time? Bayley's now the #1 contender for Charlotte's title. That'll be interesting indeed. Dana Brooke goes one-on-one with Carmella as well. And then our next matchup, tag team action. It is Colin Cassidy, Enzo Amore versus Blake and Murphy. That should be a good contest between two of our best teams right here in NXT as we look to find the next #1 contenders for our tag team titles. And this is a matchup that has been brewing for a while, and it's going to take place tonight. Apollo Crews versus Samoa Joe. Crews, one of the top standouts here in NXT. Samoa Joe wants that NXT title. Well, the two of the best will meet tonight. Speaking of two of the best, Baron Corbin versus Hideo Itami, our #1 contender tonight as well. Charlotte gets the win tonight, teaming up with Asuka. And in our next match, Dana Brooke picks up the victory over Carmella as well. And our main event, Hideo Itami, the #1 contender, defeats Baron Corbin. So what a matchup this is going to be between two of our best tag teams right here in NXT. It is going to be the team of Enzo Amore, Colin Cassidy, a team that is on the hunt for the NXT tag team titles. And currently the tag team champions are the American Alphas. And of course they are Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Well, Enzo and Cass are looking to win those titles, but to do so, they're going to have to step it up a little bit. They're going to have to try and get themselves in the top tier contendership role, and to do that, they need to start beating some of the best teams right here in NXT, and they have a huge chance to do that, obviously. And we've seen the Vaudevillains, they took on the American Alphas, they were unsuccessful. Now we've been searching for our next team. We've seen the Revival do very, very well, and now we get a chance to see Blake and Murphy come up against Enzo and Cass right now. So probably, realistically, the team who wins this one might take on the Revival to earn the #1 contendership spot. And they will have an opportunity at our next big event, NXT TakeOver. Now, we talked a little bit about that last episode, and I do appreciate all the feedback on that. I think this general consensus was probably to use current NXT TakeOver specials, and I think we might just do a mix. Sometimes if we feel like we need to, do something a little different, maybe we'll try to do that. If not, we'll just kind of stick to real NXT special shows. So, our first takeover event, it might just be NXT TakeOver just by itself. I'm even thinking about tossing the idea around of just doing like NXT TakeOver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just doing it in numbers. If that's something that you guys think might be a little, decent, might be cool, let me know, because I think that would be honestly cool. I think that might be a good idea, just to kind of keep it nice and simple and keep it in number format so we know what's what. And I know a lot of questions as well. How often am I going to do NXT TakeOver specials? Probably every 2 months in-game at the moment. So that will mean the next one is coming up pretty soon. So we'll talk more about that when we have some more information for you guys. So it probably won't be like exactly 2 months every time until we kind of get a schedule going. But for now, expect to see it around the every 2 month stage. So of course, if you do have any more questions about Universe Mode in general and what I'm going to do, or any kind of suggestions or ideas, make sure you let me know. And I'm always open to suggestions and ideas, and I always will try and respond, whether it be in a video format or whether it be in a comment section below or on Twitter or whatever. Just let me know and I'll think about it. And if I don't respond, I will have read it at least. So just know that I'm always reading what you say. And sometimes I can't respond to everything, but I'm always, checking out your ideas and taking them into consideration. So I do appreciate all the responses that I get. So right now, we've got Blake in there with Big Cass, Colin Cassidy. He is a huge man, and he's a perfect fit for this team, Enzo and Cass, who have already had so much success right now here in NXT. But they need to win those tag team titles. But look, the American Alphas, they're on fire right now. They are really the top team right here in NXT, and it's going to be so difficult to beat them, whoever does get that opportunity. And Murphy's now into this matchup, who gets tossed aside there by Cass, who just starts to stomp a mud hole right there on Murphy as well. So Blake and Murphy, a big chance for those two guys here tonight. They have a real chance to show us what they can do, beat one of the top teams here in NXT, and move on to probably face the Revival for the #1 contendership spot. So a huge chance, but a huge obstacle in their way right now, and he is the name of Cass, Colin Cassidy. Murphy took him off his feet though, which is a good start. And really, you probably want to try and get Enzo in there. You probably don't want to face too much of Colin Cassidy if you are Blake and Murphy. You'd rather be facing Enzo. But Enzo can certainly hold up his own as well. So it's a difficult proposition for Blake and Murphy. And I guess they have to try and not be too fearful of Colin Cassidy and try not to be overpowered too much by his size, or be worried about his size. Big time back body drop there. And the height of that is certainly very well known, because he is going to drop you from a huge distance. The big man, Colin Cassidy. That's something you do definitely need to avoid. The size of Cass is very overwhelming. Now Enzo Amore. The size of Enzo, not so much, but the ability of Enzo in the ring, the charisma this guy has, is something that you need to fear. He can talk the talk, but he can also walk the walk. So Enzo's in there right now. And Blake has a hold of the leg, and the leg buckling there into the mat. Now it looks as though Blake might be headed towards the corner to tag in Murphy. So he had a moment there. And the quick tags right now, Blake and Murphy, is a good strategy to employ, keeping themselves fresh here. And Murphy taking down Enzo. Thought he might have tried to keep that move down there to go for the 3 count. But instead, he couldn't hang on. And now Enzo's back to his feet, looking to take the offense to Murphy as he gets sent down. Obviously, later on tonight, we're going to see Apollo Crews versus Samoa Joe as well. What a match that is going to be. We'll talk more about that in detail. But certainly a lot of top teams here in NXT, a lot of great superstars here at NXT, all trying to break out and break through. And I suppose that's what you expect to see the initial stages of NXT. We've only been going for a couple months now. And we're trying to just kind of... It's a bit of a feeling out process right now. We're trying to see who is the real legitimate contenders for our championships and who are the pretenders. And both these teams, I feel as though, are legitimate contenders. And they're certainly trying to fight for that spot right now. And Murphy in trouble. He'll kick out. Colin Cassidy just outpowering and outmuscling him right now. That elbow strike, nothing pretty about that, but it connects nicely to the Australian. Murphy now in a bit of trouble. Colin Cassidy cannot decide what he wants to do. And he took too much time to decide, and Murphy made him pay. Back to his feet. Big right hand there. And now Murphy... unluckily unable to take advantage of that moment that Cass gave him. And now we might see a tag. In comes Enzo. And here we go. Bit of double T work here by Enzo and Cass. Double strike taking down Murphy. Now hook of the leg. Tempted pinfall. And a kick out. Well, broken up and probably would have kicked out anyways. So only a 1 count for Enzo and Cass. But it's a nice start regardless. And they'll know the pressure's on, and that the jaw and the throat of Murphy bouncing off the forearm of Enzo Amore. And Enzo trying to keep Murphy down and grounded by working down on his legs. And Enzo and Cass in control. Oh, but from behind, taking down Murphy again. That neck right into the mat. And trouble now for Murphy, and a running crossbody. And Enzo now launching himself, putting his body on the line with no care whatsoever. Unfortunately, it won't lead to a pinfall because Murphy was able to get a bit of help from his partner Blake, who broke up the attempted pinfall. Cassidy's trying to get Blake the hell out of it. He will do so. He's gone for a bit of a trip over the top rope. But whilst that was happening, though, Murphy's been able to take advantage. Oh, brainbuster! Wow! What a thunderous brainbuster there by Murphy, and he might just win this match. And a near fall on the counter 2, kicking out with his shoulder, just getting in the air in time. That brainbuster doing some real damage, as you can see. Enzo just trying to fight for his life out of the corner. Murphy might need to look for a tag here, trying to get his partner in, just to keep the quick tags going. Enzo, look out now. Murphy might be in some trouble. We're going to see that again, and this time bouncing off the forearm once again. And he's been cut open. Don't ask me how, but he's been cut open. I don't know how he's been, cut, but whatever. He's cut okay, and he's in some trouble because Enzo has a chance to tag in his tag team partner, Big Cass, and here we go again. The big man back in this matchup. Big Cass trying to stop Murphy from getting to a tag. If Murphy can tag in right now, this might be the perfect moment for him and his team to take advantage and get the fresh man in. And try to work their way back into this matchup. Cass not going to allow it though. And now Cassidy has to work away from Murphy. Now from behind. Grabs a hold of Murphy. Trouble now for Murphy. Picks him up. And oh, slams him down with such brute force on the suplex. And now trouble. Murphy will get some help from his partner again, Blake, who breaks it up. It's been very close on a number of occasions now. But Blake's been able to keep this one alive. But for how much longer though? Murphy's been in there for too long. He's taken a beating. He's cut. He can't see properly. The blood dripping down into his eyes. It's, you know, you take that with a combination of sweat as well, getting into your eyes, unable to really see what's going on, but I'm sure he was able to see the big boot landing right on the button and taking down Murphy. But again, Blake is involved. Enzo's not able to get there quick enough, and he might have to try and come outside here and distract him. And there he goes. Blake is now distracted by Enzo, so the distraction's working. This has basically been what's saving Murphy right now. Enzo now taking out Blake, and oh my goodness, Cassidy absolutely smashing Murphy into the ground. The spinning side slam, too much for Murphy to contend with after all the damage as well taken beforehand. His partner nowhere to be found thanks to Enzo taking him out, throwing him into the steel steps outside. And Big Cass and Enzo pick up yet another victory here in NXT. It looks as though the Revival will be meeting Enzo and Cass once again in the very near future to determine the next #1 contenders for our NXT Tag Team titles. A lot to like right now. A lot to like. And very exciting times indeed if you are a fan of Enzo and Cass. They've been really working hard. And they get rewarded here tonight with a very, very promising victory. Still a lot more work to be done. The American Alphas are waiting on for their next tag team opponents. And it could be Cass and Enzo, but, you know, look, honestly, American Alphas, they deserve to be champions. They are very, very good. And Enzo and Cass have a lot to improve on if they are going to get those tag team title opportunities in the future. There it was. Spinning side slam there by Big Cass, putting him away nicely. And Enzo looks pretty happy about that as well. So big victory here tonight. Looks as though Blake and Murphy were too soft for the challenge. And now we'll see Enzo and Cass move on to bigger and better things. Here we go, folks. What a match this is gonna be. Here he is, Apollo Crews. One of the top tier stars here in NXT. And geez, he's proven that already in a short space of time, not too long ago, picking up a victory over Baron Corbin. Last week, getting a victory over Samoa Joe in the tag team clash. But it certainly cost him. Take a look at this. So it was after Apollo Crews did pick up the victory in the matchup. He pinned Samoa Joe. After the match, Samoa Joe planting him down with the Muscle Buster, taking Crews out. And he did a little bit more than that, but of course, check out last week's episode to see more. But Apollo Crews wants revenge tonight, and he'll probably get it in some sort of way. I don't know if it'll lead to a victory, but he will get his hands on Samoa Joe here tonight. This is going to be a brutal clash between two of NXT's best. Samoa Joe was upset last week. He was shocked. I mean, I think we were all kind of shocked that Apollo Crews defeated Samoa Joe in the tag team matchup. He did the spinning powerbomb and putting Samoa Joe away. And Joe, I think, just snapped. He couldn't take it. He couldn't handle losing. And I guess he's a bit of a bad loser right now. And he just absolutely snapped and destroyed Apollo Crews after the matchup. And basically told us earlier on today when we spoke to him that he's out to finish the job. He wants to finish off Apollo Crews and make him pay for what he did last week. So it looks as though Apollo Crews has a target on his head. Samoa Joe is out to get him, and we're about to find out tonight, right now as this one gets underway, whether or not Joe will be able to get him or not. Crews straight away striking after Joe, but Joe takes him down. So Crews trying everything here to get the upper hand, trying to get a few big shots in. Immediately looking for revenge. An elbow struck there on Joe. Now hang on, taken down. Joe planting him down, sweeping him off his feet, and Joe stomping away right now on Crews. So a strong start here by Joe. Crews now rolling out of harm's way, but Joe again tosses down Cruz, and Cruz unable to take advantage of the big man. And now here we go. He's grabbed the arm of Cruz. Cruz is close to the ropes though, and Cruz able to counter and get out of it and roll through. So Joe trying to look for an early submission here. Samoa Joe has plenty of submission moves in his arsenal to use, especially that rear naked choke. And Cruz smartly getting out of the way of an attempted stomp there by Joe. Sliding back into the ring. Now he's got a hold of Joe and has him against the ropes. Here comes Apollo Crews. Oh, and again, Samoa Joe countering and taking out Cruz. Joe has him well scattered out here tonight. Clothesline there by Cruz. So Samoa Joe, he's come to this matchup fully prepared again. Apollo Crews just cannot stay on his feet. Joe keeps taking him out. Grabs a hold of the leg and tosses him to the other side of the ring. Brute force and power shown there by Samoa Joe, who wanted to be the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. After the NXT Arrival event, Samoa Joe made his debut. He took out AJ Styles. He thought for sure he was going to be the next #1 contender. It turned out to be Hideo Itami. Joe was not pinned in that equation. And Joe was already in a pissed off mood last week, as a neckbreaker there by Apollo Crews finally getting some offense in. And Joe went for a attempted kick. And now Crews has a hold of Joe and plants him down. So Crews now working his way back into it. So Samoa Joe was already pissed off last week enough as it was. But then to lose to Apollo Crews as well, well, you knew that was just going to be a recipe for disaster. Apollo Crews just pissed off one very angry Samoan. And Joe took out all his frustrations out on Apollo Crews. Here we go. The cover now by Joe. Kick out at one there by Crews though. I think Joe might be a little bit jealous about Crews as well. I mean, all the talk has been about Apollo Crews as Joe plants him down again. A lot of talk has been about Apollo Crews. I mean, look, you know, everyone's been saying, I've been saying that I think Apollo Crews has all the potential to be a massive star right here at NXT and beyond. Whereas a lot of us probably haven't been saying too much about Samoa Joe. Yes, we believe he can be everything he wants to be. But I guess, I mean, Apollo Crews is much younger than Samoa Joe. Perhaps that's a factor in Joe's mind. Perhaps he feels as though Apollo Crews might leapfrog him and go up to the main roster before him because of that factor. And because of the longevity ability that he has. You know, that sustainability that he will have. I mean, it's a tricky situation for Samoa Joe. And I guess the jealousy is overpowering him right now. As he's trying to get out of this hold here by Crews. He will do so. Back to his feet now, has a hold of Crews. What's he going to plan to do now? And he'll just sweep Crews off his feet again. He's doing very well at keeping Crews down. And that might have been a strategy by Samoa Joe heading into this matchup. So I suppose if Samoa Joe can beat Apollo Crews, well, that will certainly prove that Samoa Joe is better than Apollo Crews, right? Well, at least in Samoa Joe's mind, that will be the case. And, oh! Wow, nicely done there. Picking up Samoa Joe and just absolutely destroying him right there. Samoa Joe back to his feet though. And obviously Apollo Crews has all the power and strength and the mobility that Samoa Joe possesses as well. For a big man, he certainly has it. But Apollo Crews, so impressive. He can do so many great things in this ring. And so unpredictable, like we have talked about in the past. What he can do. He can match you for any style that you try and employ. Well, Crews can go about it the same way and probably do it better than you can. So Crews is certainly a force to be reckoned with. And Samoa Joe's trying to eliminate that force right now, trying to eliminate his competition so he can have an easier path to that NXT Championship and beyond. Crews is not giving up without a fight right now as Joe's trying to just get this submission in right now, trying to choke out Apollo Crews. Has the arm hooked. Trying to keep that arm out of play, trying to probably take out that spinning powerbomb. Now picking up Crews with that fireman's carry, turning into a Samoa drop there. So Joe looking pretty good right now. He keeps on taking down Apollo Crews and keeping him off his feet. And the stomp right into the groin midsection or lower midsection area there. And now Crews in trouble again. Samoa Joe this time picked him up in the same carry and planting him down once again. That nice slam, and now an elbow strike there. by Apollo Crews on Samoa Joe. Crews is trying to fight back with some strikes now. Here comes Apollo Crews. Snapmare takedown. And Crews, no, put to rest by Samoa Joe. Just as soon as Crews is about to get his way, Samoa Joe shuts it down straight away. This time the knee to Crews. A big chop. Follows it up, trying to go for a scoop slam. Not going to happen because it's been taken down by Crews. Crews now might be looking for the pinfall on Joe. Here we go. Look at that left leg. Joe in trouble. Count it 2. And a kick out. Not the near fall that Crews might have been looking for, but still close enough. And the pressure applied to Samoa Joe. But still more to do now for Apollo Crews. Enziguri. Well, both men went for something at the same time. Crews much quicker than Samoa Joe and able to execute beforehand. And now Joe is down again. Crews sees another opportunity to try and put Joe away here. Look at that leg again. And we go. And this time Joe kicks out at 1. Well, that's very deflating when your opponent can kick out comfortably at the count of 1. After you've probably done a good move, a move that you might feel as though may not get you the 3 count, but certainly put a lot of pressure on your opponent. A scoop slam there by Crews. For your opponent just to kick out at 1, that can obviously really rock you and derail you a little bit and take away a lot of your momentum and confidence. And Samoa Joe might be trying to do that right now. Try and kick out early and try and wipe the smile off Apollo Crews' face. Joe now. Oh, an enziguri of his own. Look at that. A strike right to the back of Apollo Crews' head. And Crews, he could have a concussion right now. He might not know where the hell he is. Joe probably looking for that muscle buster, sending his opponent into the corner. Not going to get it though because Crews fighting out of it. And now Crews in trouble. Big time backbreaker. And that may have rocked the spine of Apollo Crews. And he'll kick out at 2 though. Crews, he's fighting, not giving up yet though. Samoa Joe needs to search for a big move to try and put Crews away. And Joe, that arm still being worked on here. Trying to take out that spinning powerbomb, the move that beat him last week. Another snapmare by Joe. This time Crews able to counter it. And back to his feet is Crews. Joe now into the corner. And Crews very slowly getting to the corner and even missing the strike. And that's going to cost him. Crews still suffering the effects of that kick to the head, I would assume. Now, the powerbomb right into the turnbuckle, into the corner. And Apollo Crews is out. He is absolutely out of it right now. He's trying to get back to his feet. He's stirring. He's crawling. And Joe has him right where he wants him. And now the knee by Crews. Bit of desperation. Another knee. The third one. Crews trying everything, but Joe shutting it down straight away. And this is why Samoa Joe is a force to be reckoned with here at NXT. And now, here's another example of it. Here we go. Muscle Buster by Samoa Joe. That is going to be it there. Samoa Joe is going to get his payback and revenge on Apollo Crews. But has he wasted a little bit of too much time? A few valuable seconds there. Crews, yes, he'll kick out. Samoa Joe cannot believe it, but I can. He wasted too much time. You cannot waste too much time with a guy like Apollo Crews. He will make you pay. Crews now into the corner. Joe taking his time now. And Crews will counter and make him pay, but Joe not allowing it by Crews. Not allowing him to work his way back into it. Now Joe from behind. Here's trouble. German suplex. And you can see the way that he landed on his neck. It was vicious. It was a shocking landing. And it might be enough to keep him down for the 3 count. Joe continuing the assault. More knees and kicks. But he's taking a breather. Deciding not to go for the cover. Trying just to get himself composed. Regain himself. And try and figure out a way how he can beat Apollo Crews. But Crews from behind. Here we go. Suplex. Slamming down Joe. And now Crews again swept off his feet by Samoa Joe. How good is Joe going right now? Samoa Joe It's just not letting him get back to his feet whatsoever. Joe dominating this match. Here comes Joe, launching himself at Cruz. And now turns it into a cover. Cruz might be out. Oh, a near fall. The shoulder up at 2.5. And Joe, he surely cannot believe that one. 260 pounds plus of Samoa Joe launched there onto Apollo Crews. And now Cruz sweeping Joe off his feet and immediately going for the cover. He's trying desperately just have a few seconds of a break here from Samoa Joe and apply a bit of pressure back on Joe. Didn't lead to the 3 count, but a chance now. Oh, wait a second. Joe, uh-oh. There we go. The rear naked choke. It's in. It's locked in. Cruz, can he battle out of it? Can he survive? Joe has got it really locked in tight. And Joe will release the hold, but Cruz might be out. He may have choked Cruz out. And no, Cruz kicking out before a count can even occur. Well, Cruz making a statement now. Oh, what a kick. Here comes Apollo Crews now. Apollo Crews. Oh, Inseguri, he missed it. And just like that, Cruz may have been looking just to fire back and get himself back into it. Now Joe putting on an absolute clinic, shutting it down, and still working away on the arm of Cruz. Cruz slamming down Joe. Turns it into a cover, hooks that left leg again. Now a chance to win. Will Joe kick out? Oh, it's close, but he does. A near fall, the count is 2.5. Referee nearly slapping his hand down for the 3, but Joe good enough. Cruz with a big strike, sending down Joe. Now Apollo Crews springboarding with a moonsault at the second rope. And now Joe with a shoulder block. I don't think Cruz really got all of that moonsault, and it may have cost him. Now Joe, look out. Uh-oh. We've seen this many times. The German suplex into the full Nelson. And now another German suplex and keeps the cover. The shoulders both down. Cruz has his foot on the rope. No, it's not. Joe picks up the victory and gets his payback here tonight on NXT. I tell you what though, Apollo Cruz's boot may have nearly touched the rope there. We need to take another look at that. But Apollo Crews, well, he just got absolutely out-wrestled tonight. Samoa Joe put on an absolute clinic on how to beat your opponent. He just gave Cruz absolutely nothing in this match. Here it was. So it was the German suplex, the full Nelson. And again now, into the German. The second time. You can see the boot of Cruz doesn't touch the rope. It may have just been missing it. But was it in between the ropes? We'll never know. And wait a second. After the matchup, wait a second. Joe's not done yet. And just like last week, Joe beat the hell out of Cruz after the matchup. Last week Joe lost, this week Joe won, but Cruz is fighting back now. Joe wants more of Apollo Crews. Winning was not enough for Joe, but Cruz is not going to allow him to do it this week. Here comes Cruz! Spinebuster! And Apollo Crews getting some revenge of his own. It's a bit of retribution. And now went for the right hand. Joe fighting back though. Oh, look at that stiff right. Cruz though, he's trying everything now. And hang on. Joe sent over the top rope. And Apollo Crews, he lost tonight, but he'll get the last laugh. He'll have the last say in this one. I can tell you what though, this situation between these two, it is definitely not over yet. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again for joining us for another episode of NXT. If you did enjoy it, leave a like on the video. It'd be great if you can hit 5 likes. Of course, subscribe to see more. We're just about to hit 40,000. In fact, we might be hitting 40,000 by the time this video is up. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you have subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. You guys are the real MVPs. Have a great day. See you next time.